Hey guys, check it out. You're watching Jonathan Clarke on YouTube. Oh no! It should come as no surprise to anybody out there on YouTube that I am the biggest fan of Descendants and Zombies in the world, and this is the most popular Descendants and Zombies YouTube channel in the world right now because of each and every one of you. To every single person who's ever hit my subscribe button, to every single person who's ever hit my like button, I just want to say thank you so much from my heart to yours, because you're the reason why this YouTube channel happens, you're the reason why all these great videos are uploaded, and you're the reason why I'm so excited about Descendants 5 Wicked Wonderland happening next summer. Just think about it like this. This time next year, when the sun sets, we'll be counting down the hours, the minutes, and the seconds until literally the premiere of Descendants 5 Wicked Wonderland, something that I feel all of us have waited on for what feels like our entire lives. And I have never felt so honored to be able to commentate on Descendants and Zombies for you in so many wonderful videos on this YouTube channel. I wish more people would go out of their way to upload Descendants and Zombies videos for you on their YouTube channels, but for the life of me, I don't know why people don't. Obviously, it's because they don't have a greater appreciation for the franchise, what it's meant to so many people's hearts, and how it's changed so many people's lives. I know for a fact that Descendants and Zombies has forever and always left a forever imprint on my heart, and I will never forget the honor I had of meeting each and every one of you this past summer because of the Worlds Collide Tour, and our many conversations about it, and our many reviews of Descendants 5 Wicked Wonderland, and our predictions we've made about it early on. It's hard to believe that we're still a year away from Descendants 5 Wicked Wonderland happening, and Zombies 5 having a prediction of a release date window as late as 2028. But even if it is as late as 2028, I will forever and always be here talking about Descendants and Zombies for each and every single person who's ever believed in the franchises just as much as what I have. And you've got to believe me, I've watched Descendants and Zombies about 1,000 times, if not 1,000,000, and it's been the greatest honor of my life talking about your favorite characters such as Red, Chloe, Bridget, and even further back in the history books of Mal, Sophia Carson's character Evie, Cameron Boyce's portrayal of the beautiful character Carlos, the character that I think a lot of us have never ever forgotten about. And I think that this really has been an experience that I will never ever forget. In all honesty, from my heart to yours, I just want to say thank you so much for allowing me to be your voice of Descendants and Zombies. Because I think that no matter who you are, you've admitted to being a fan of Descendants and Zombies. For whatever reason, you fell in love with the script. From the powerful script and the powerful messages to the powerful songs and their lyrics that really helped bring Descendants to life in a way that I don't think anybody ever thought Descendants would ever have the opportunity of being brought to life. And it was broadcasted in so many wonderful countries, in so many wonderful languages, and so many fans of Descendants and Zombies has presented so much diversity to the franchise. It is truly unbelievable, the cultural diversity that we have seen with Descendants and Zombies. This truly has been the greatest honor of my life, having the honor to meet so many people from so many walks of life who have felt inspired by Descendants and Zombies for whatever reason you became a fan of Descendants and Zombies and remember these franchises for. Earlier today I watched Zombies 2, and it was really fun watching Zombies 2 and seeing the introduction of werewolves and seeing Addison find her place in the world and accepting werewolves for who they truly were because they embraced the power of werewolves, and Addison, of course, figuring out her heritage behind werewolves. It was really fun. And seeing how Zed, had great difficulty understanding that. But at the end of the movie, what really stood out to me was just how their love triumphed over everything. And I think in every Zombies movie, the thing that's really stood out to me is the consistency about how love really outrides every amount of darkness that we could ever encounter in our lifetime, and how friendships really stand the test of time. Descendants has done a fabulous job really illustrating the power of friendship, and how if you have one good friend in this lifetime, that's all you've ever really needed. I've always believed forever and always. My mom was a school teacher. She taught grades 4 and 5 for over 30 years, and the most valuable piece of advice that my mom ever gave me was that all you need are probably 3 or 4 really good friends in this lifetime that will help you make through life and help you make sense of everything going on around you. And that piece of advice is something that I've always held on to, and I've always shared, made a consistent habit of sharing religiously on this show to each and every single person who may be struggling with whatever they're struggling with in their lifetime. I think that everybody has a light. I've often quoted Cloud from Final Fantasy VII because I'm a big Final Fantasy fan. I played every Final Fantasy game there is, but the favorite character of mine from the Final Fantasy franchise forever and always has been Cloud, for how he used to say, "You'll find your light." And I've quoted them so many times on this show because I firmly believe that everybody out there has a light, and no matter how long it takes you to find it, you do find that light. And through the valuable lessons of how friendships have really stood the test of time and achieved legacies for so many wonderful people, I think that Descendants and Zombies' profound message of success, triumph, and honor will never ever be forgotten. I really love how they're referring to Red's character now as Princess Red in the franchise, and how she's come to mean so much to the Descendants franchise when nobody ever thought she would amount to anything. And of course, who I'm referring to out there are the critics. I think the most support that we've seen for Red and Chloe have come from the fans, who ultimately almost instantly fell in love with these characters, myself included. I'm not going to lie to each and every one of you and say that I didn't instantly fall in love with the characters Red and Chloe, because I think that their representation of the Descendants franchise was very different and very powerfully put out there than from what Dove Cameron and Sophia Carson's characters Mal and Evie ever represented for the Descendants franchise. You know, while the original Descendants franchise focused on relationships and the conflict within those relationships between Mal and Ben and other relationships we saw throughout the course of the original Descendants trilogy, I think this franchise really focused on the value of friendship and how much value actually was put behind their friendship, because they helped each other out of every circumstance they were faced with, every situation, and they really helped each other make sense of their own lives, which I really, had a greater appreciation for from every scene of The Rise of Red. The Descendants 5 Wicked Wonderland production will have a lot of action scenes, I'm anticipating, because of the Kingdom Cup games finding their way to Auradon, and I'm really excited about this. I'm also really excited about the new characters that will see their introduction into the franchise from other franchises that we've probably forgotten about from Disney's history, like Hercules or Little Mermaid, what have you. Probably Tangled also can be thrown in there. I know Princess and the Frog and Encanto will forever be a part of this conversation up until the premiere of Descendants 5 Wicked Wonderland, but I am particularly intrigued by what kind of characters will find their way into the franchise, because the Kingdom Cup games now finding their way into Auradon for the very first time ever. And this is going to be the first time ever. What's really intriguing about all of this is it's the first time ever that Descendants' franchise has attempted anything like this. So there's going to be more action, there's going to be more unpredictable moments that are going to be created, and I think these are going to be moments that we are never, ever going to forget. Kind of like how Carlos' character, portrayed by Cameron Boyce, gave us so many wonderful memories, and how I really believe that his legacy will live on eternally and forever and always in not only the stars of the past of Descendants, but also these stars who have done a fabulous job honoring his legacy. I would love to see some kind of tribute put together and collaborated for Carlos's character in the Kingdom Cup games, of course portrayed by Cameron Boyce, probably, a commemorative, photo or something to commemorate his legacy, because I really do believe that, Carlos would have wanted, if anything, Cameron Boyce would have wanted the Descendants franchise to have get to this pivotal point where their popularity has exceeded the expectations of any critic out there. Because the reality that I'm faced with is that I'm up against 15 million critics on YouTube for my opinions on Descendants of Zombies. And if not for your overwhelming love and support that you've continuously shown this YouTube channel, I probably would never be here and have had the opportunity to create so many wonderful videos for you guys, sharing my predictions and my thoughts on the upcoming Descendants 5 Wicked Wonderland and how far Descendants has gotten to. I do know that I will forever and always be supportive of the original cast of Descendants and be the biggest fan in the world of Dove Cameron and Sophia Carson for how they brought this franchise to life. I, for one, will never forget the premiere of Descendants many years ago, many moons ago, when Dove Cameron and Sophia Carson donned these beautiful gowns on the red carpet premiere for Descendants in 2015. Nobody ever thought this was going to amount to anything, and man, did it ever exceed the expectations of every critic out there. Because I remember Descendants really, seeing its fair share of criticism early on, and I remember about an hour after the premiere of Descendants about 10 years ago, seeing all these reviews posted on Rotten Tomatoes and IMDb.com and thinking, this is fabulous. Everybody is saying so many wonderful things about the music. They can't get enough of the script. They can't wait for Descendants 2, and Descendants has just premiered. It was really an exciting time to be a fan of Disney franchises, because I think that franchises of the past really never emphasized the importance of friendship or the value behind love as much as what Descendants ever did. And the thing is, Descendants really will go down in history for being one of the most revered Disney Channel franchises of all time for the emphasis they put behind love and just how powerful of an impact love has forever and always had on people's lives. Because I think that never enough of this has been seen in Disney franchises of the past, regardless if you're talking about Hannah Montana, High School Musical, Wizards, even Sweet Life, or whatever franchise you want to throw into that conversation. Jessie and Bunked, which which definitely was very popular years ago. I remember how popular Jesse and Bunk was and how big of a fan I was of Peyton List. But even on those franchises, you never saw so much emphasis with love being put behind it as you did with Descendants. So I really do believe that if you can put people on the stage at the D23 Expo like Miley Cyrus and have them go down in history for being the youngest Disney legend in history, so too can you have the cast of Zombies, and so too can you have the cast of Descendants. So I would love to see a big celebration one year at a D23 Expo up and coming for Descendants of Zombies, and I will forever campaign for that and put it out there that if you can have Miley Cyrus go down in history just last year for being the youngest Disney legend in history, so too can you have your favorite stars of Descendants of Zombies. That's what really stands out to me about these two franchises, is how much of a compelling argument can be made about them going down in history for being some of the greatest of all time. And you know, a song like Legends in the Making really puts into perspective how valuable a legacy is to a person, because that's all Zed and Addison ever wanted, was for their legacies to never be forgotten about and to never fade off into obscurity. And they really did a fabulous job, you know, telling their story and having completed it in that final kiss they shared on top of that mountain in New Zealand. It was a beautiful scene, and it was an unforgettable kiss for me and an unforgettable moment. Being a fan of Zombies, you know, seeing this moment and getting to that moment really made it all worth it. Being a fan of Zombies for what felt like forever, seeing them share that kiss, because all they ever wanted was to spend the rest of their lives together, and they had that honor bestowed upon them by Zombies 4 Down in the Vampire's conclusion, and now the torch has been passed from them to Malachi Burton and Freya Sky, who I think are going to do a fabulous job as Victor and Nova for the foreseeable future for the Zombies franchise. I really do believe that Victor and Nova's story is going to be a beautiful one. Do I think it's going to be as beautiful as Zed and Addison? Sure I do. But I think we really need to give them a chance. We really need to give them a chance to tell their story and really take it for what it's worth, because I think the Zombies franchise is going to see far more supernatural creatures and characters than ever before. I think more of a compelling story is going to be brought to life than ever before, and I think this is really a time to be excited about the direction that Zombies is headed in. And I'm really excited to be here to cover it for you guys, because I really do believe this is the greatest honor of my life. Being a fan of Zombies for the last 8 years has been the greatest honor of my life. It's really hard to believe it's been a decade since Zombies came into our lives and really changed our lives after having a significant impact seen on all of our lives from all walks of life. I think everybody was impacted by Zombies and Descendants. I really do believe that Descendants and Zombies will forever and always have a special place in all of our hearts, even though some of us will probably never choose to admit to it. Even the critics have a special place in their hearts for Descendants and Zombies, because if they didn't have a special place in their hearts for Descendants and Zombies, then they wouldn't be reviewing it in the way of reaction videos and how many videos they're uploading on their YouTube channels, which really isn't enough. I don't think ever enough videos can be uploaded about Descendants and Zombies, because I, for one, believe that there is a greater appreciation that goes with talking about Descendants and Zombies. And if you have that greater appreciation for Descendants and Zombies, well, then obviously you're going to upload videos to your YouTube channel that a lot of people can appreciate. But if you don't have that appreciation for Descendants and Zombies, the thing is, the videos really aren't going to make a whole lot of sense to a whole lot of people. I have a frog stuck in my throat every single night that I upload a Descendants or Zombies video. I think I'm suffering from a zombie infection myself. But having said that, I think that there's a greater appreciation for Descendants and Zombies that you need to really bring to your YouTube channel. You really got to show up. You've really got to be on point. And the thing is, I think that a lot of people, just because they don't and I think a lot of the criticism has to do with how they don't really understand or can appreciate the value behind Descendants and Zombies, because there's a greater appreciation that goes with talking about Descendants and Zombies that I think that a whole lot of people don't have, because they don't understand the concept. I mean, for the life of me, I will never understand why people can't understand what a daywalker and a nightwalker is. Obviously, a vampire that can exist in the daytime is a daywalker. A vampire that exists in the nighttime is a nightwalker. And that is something that really stands out to me and is really impressive to me, how Descendants of Zombies has touched the hearts of so many wonderful people who can understand this kind of thing, which is why I will forever and always say that some of the most love and support that we've ever seen for Descendants of Zombies have come from the fans who attended the Worlds Collide Tour, who showed up with your glitter signs, who showed up with an outpouring of love and support for your favorite stars, and this is why their legacies will go down in history for being some of the greatest of all time. You know, give it time, and we'll see Leg 2 of the Worlds Collide tour happening over in Australia, Germany, parts of the UK. I'm really excited about it, and I really love how people are already YouTubing Descendants of Zombies UK tour, because this is what's going to happen. Because, of course, Disney's all about the expansion of the global market, and what better way to expand the global market than by sending your Descendants of Zombies stars overseas to promote the Descendants of Zombies Worlds Collide tour in places that it's never been. This is where we're going to see Freya, Sky, and Kylie Control explode, and we're going to see the fullest potential of these characters realized, because they're going to be introduced to a whole new global audience in a whole different atmosphere than what they're used to, because overseas the chants are different, the crowds are very different, and they're very appreciative of being caught up within the moment and being a part of whatever they're a part of. That's something I noticed about the filming of Zombies 4 Dawn of the Vampires in New Zealand, is when they had the filming happening and everybody was just so appreciative to be a part of whatever they were a part of. That's what's so outstanding to me. That's what's so incredible, and that's what forever and always will be, you know, a part of my life, and will forever and always hold a special part and place in my heart, is how just appreciative everybody was to be a part of the Descendants project, and leading up to the moments that we saw in Zombies 4 Dawn of the Vampires. Do I think there are still so many moments yet to be created for the Zombies franchise? Sure I do. By the time Malachi Burton and Freya Sky move in and take over, I think there are going to be a whole lot of different stories told. I think there are going to be a whole lot of different storylines presented, a whole lot of different characters. There's already mermaids, pirates finding their way into the conversation, and be it that I'm from an island that has been associated with pirates and mermaids for forever, I'm really excited to see where we go from here with this franchise, because I think there are so many stories that have yet to be told about mermaids and pirates. And I, for one, am really intrigued by that, because I can remember reading stories about pirates and mermaids ever since I was probably 7 years old, and reading tales about mermaids in particular I found quite intriguing, and I felt so honored to be a part of whatever I was a part of. And I think that reading tales about mermaids makes me feel more intrigued after all these years to have mermaids find their introduction into the Zombies franchise, because when you think about it, I think anybody out there who was ever a fan of Descendants of Zombies would go for mermaids seeing their introduction into the franchise, because we've seen just about everything happen for the Zombies franchise. We saw zombies by Zombies 1, werewolves by Zombies 2, aliens by Zombies 3, and now vampires by Zombies 4. Just about everything happening. I think I got that right in order, chronological order. So, having seen everything just about happen for zombies, I think we could go for pirates and mermaids somehow or some way finding their way into the conversation. I think that would create a lot of different storylines, a lot of on-the-water action, probably a lot of boat fight scenes. I would, come to think of it, I would love to be in a scene where I'd be fighting zombies on the water. I think I would love the opportunity to be a part of something so special as that, because I think that Descendants of Zombies have created so many wonderful moments for each and every single person out there, whoever said they were a fan of Descendants of Zombies, or whoever became a fan of zombies so many years ago. Because you got to think about it, it's been 10 years, and I think that people have been waiting on these special moments for forever, so why not give it to them? You know, why are the producers and the writers, you know, holding back on the chance of seeing mermaids be a part of this franchise? You know, if you're a fan of a franchise for over a decade and you've been waiting on mermaids to happen for forever, I say give it to you guys, because you guys have deserved to see mermaids. You've deserved to see pirates and whatever else you want to see be a part of the conversation for zombies. I mean, over 250 million hours of stream time for zombies really says a lot of how far this franchise has actually come. And I'm incredibly excited to see where we go from here with this franchise, because of how many supernatural characters have yet to see their introduction into the franchise. Because this conversation about supernatural creatures is never going to end on this YouTube channel. And I, for one, don't ever want you to believe that Descendants of Zombies is seeing its, dramatic conclusion, if anything, because that's what the critics want you to believe. They want you to buy into the whole idea and concept of how Descendants of Zombies is eventually going to come to and see its dramatic conclusion. And I, for one, refuse to believe that, with how many supernatural creatures have yet to find their way into the conversation, and with how much more of a story has yet to be told with Victor and Nova. How are they going to tell that story without supernatural characters we never even thought of being a part of this franchise? The most effective way of doing it is allowing what you want to see be a part of this franchise be a part of it. And that's why I think that fans should have more creative freedom with Descendants of Zombies, and Disney should listen to its audience more than probably ever before. Now, I know, because of contractual obligations, Disney says and states that in the fine print that it doesn't listen to its audience or take ideas from its audience, but if they actually drew inspiration from their audience, or a guy like me, I think that Descendants of Zombies would definitely catapult to the heights of unprecedentedness, and that would be something really intriguing for me. I'm really intrigued by this story. I am really intrigued to see where we go from here with this franchise, and I'm just so excited and so honored to be a part of it. I'm so excited to be your voice of Descendants and Zombies for the foreseeable future, because I didn't intend to become your voice of Descendants and Zombies. It just kind of happened for me, and I've never felt so honored to be in your guys' presence talking about Descendants and Zombies for all these podcasts that I've had the honor of uploading. And this YouTube channel will forever and always be a part of your life, because I will make sure that there is always and forever a video uploaded about Descendants and Zombies. Every single day, at least one video will be uploaded about Descendants and Zombies for the foreseeable future on this YouTube channel. So if you have not subscribed to this YouTube channel, you're probably going to want to do that, because I think that there is a greater honor of following through with a commitment that you made to your audience over a year and a half ago. Because if you can remember, over a year and a half ago, I showed up on this YouTube channel and I said that I was going to upload one video about Descendants and Zombies, at least one per day, and I've fallen through with that promise for each and every single person who ever thought they were a fan of Descendants and Zombies. And it was such an honor for me to be able to do that, because I felt like a lot of people were just uploading videos about Descendants and Zombies that were, in the way of reaction videos that weren't really making a whole lot of sense to a whole lot of people. And I just wanted to be that guy to give you great analogies about Descendants and Zombies. I've been called the Descendants analyst, because I seem to know everything there is to know about Descendants and Zombies. So if there's one guy out there that knows what's up and what's happening with this franchise, you had better believe that Jonathan Clarke is always following through with his predictions on Descendants and Zombies. And right about now, I think I would go for just about anything happening in Zombies, given the release window suggesting it's not going to happen until 2028. So we have a lot to be excited about, but that does not mean that we can't get there, and I don't want to get there alone, which means I want to get there with each and every one of you by my side. So because we can't do it alone, because we're friends now because of Descendants and Zombies, I think that there's no greater time to become a fan of Descendants and Zombies than right about now and share your opinion on the franchise. Because I've heard all your guys' predictions about mermaids and pirates finding their way into the conversation, and right about now, I would go for just about anything being in the conversation, even things that haven't found their way into the conversation. I'd even go for unicorns at this point in time, or trolls, or goblins being a part of it, because there's so much of a lore with folk literature, and there's so much of a lore with supernatural. And I think that after being a fan of things like Buffy the Vampire Slayer, The Vampire Diaries, Supernatural for years, it's really hard to believe that shows like Supernatural lasted up until 2020. So after being a fan of all this stuff for forever, I would go for just about anything being in this franchise, because I really do believe that there's so much more of a story to be told. There's so much more action to be seen in this franchise, and I'm really excited about it. I am really excited to see where we go from here, because this franchise is far from over. For those of you who have been convinced that the critics are trying to tell you that the story is over, it is far from over. We still have a long way to go, and I'm just incredibly excited to be a part of this for the foreseeable future. So if you have not rang my bell, you're probably going to want to do that to stay up to date with notifications about everything happening on this YouTube channel. All throughout the month of October, I will have a video uploaded for you guys on Descendants and Zombies as we count you down to Halloween and all the moments that happen throughout October. I know we have Ruby Rose Turner's birthday and Freya Sky's birthday happening in October, actually back to back. We've got happening on October 16th and Freya's birthday happening on October 17th, less than 24 hours apart from each other. So October is going to be an exciting month. I can't promise you that I will be able to carve a pumpkin unless somebody else out there knows how to carve a pumpkin. I'm not the best carving punker in the world. Although I may not be able to carve a pumpkin, that doesn't mean that I can't have fun with you guys and bring this YouTube channel to life in a way that it's been meant to be brought to life for a very long time, and showcase these franchises the way they've been meant to be showcased for what feels like a very long time, and really forever for me, because I really do believe that forever even has the slightest chance of existing. And the greatest honor of my life and my legacy is to be in your guys' presence, creating these videos for you guys. Thank you so much for allowing me to have been a part of your life as a family, with all of your friends watching these videos, or just, watching these videos when you have the time. Thank you guys so much for all the love and support you've shown this YouTube channel, because I honestly don't know where I would be without all the love and support that you guys have forever and always showing this YouTube channel. Because it's one thing for me to upload videos about Descendants and Zombies, but to have had the love and support, which has been very overwhelming to me on times, coming from all of you guys, really just shows how dedicated you are to the franchises that you've kind of grew up with, that have remained with you for forever. And this is really a whole lot of fun for me, and I'm just so excited for the foreseeable future of Descendants and Zombies, because forever even has the slightest chance of existing. And I want you guys to hold on to whatever dream that you've had for must what feel like forever and always. Thank you guys so much. for all the love and support you have shown this YouTube channel, and we will talk again tomorrow morning about Descendants and Zombies as early as 8:35 a.m. and 9:05 a.m. as early as the first podcast is uploaded, probably a little later than that, but I try to upload as many videos as I can every day about Descendants and Zombies for every single person who's ever proudly said they were a fan of these franchises that will forever and always hold a special place in all of our hearts. Having said that, guys, keep me in your heart as I will keep you in mine. We will talk more about Descendants and Zombies tomorrow morning. Until then, I'm your host, Jonathan Clarke, your voice of Descendants and Zombies. So proud to be here to discuss everything about Descendants and Zombies. We will talk again in literally just a few hours from now, because life really is sweeter when all of us are.